Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, the challenger. Wearing black trunks trimmed in purple and white. He weighed in 147 pounds. In 30 professional bouts, his record outstanding with 28 victories. Just 2 defeats, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Outside of Atlanta, Georgia, fighting out of Douglasville, Georgia, here is Brad King Solomon! And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the red corner. Wearing blue trunks trimmed in the flag of Mexico and the USA. He weighed in officially 146 and 1/2 pounds. And in 15 professional fights, he is perfect. 15 victories, no defeats, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Here's the reigning, defending, undefeated WBC Continental America's welterweight champion from Santa Ana, California, Alexis Rocha!
Perfect right here. You guys want to touch gloves, do it now. God bless.
You know, Virgil Ortiz knocked out Brad Solomon in the 5th round of their fight. Something tells me Alexis Rocha is aware of that and might be looking to put away Solomon a little sooner.
It may be the last chance corral for Brad King Solomon at the age of 36. He needs to beat this rising star in Alexis Rocha, but it certainly will not be easy here tonight in Rocha's hometown. He's wearing the blue trunks, Solomon in the purple and gold.
Rocha's a southpaw, Solomon the orthodox fighter.
Solomon learned to box while he was incarcerated, joined the boxing team there, where he fought from 17 to 22, said he never lost a fight in the ring or in the prison yard.
Something you got to remember, too, Solomon was a decorated amateur. I mean, this is a 3-time national Golden Gloves champion. He had wins over Demetrius Andrade, Danny Garcia, Jesse Vargas. Promotional issues stalled his career, and his style never quite meshed to the pro ranks, but there's talent within him. It just might be a little bit past its expiration date.
And not for nothing, Chris, but there was flashes of what made him a great amateur in his fight with Virgil Ortiz Jr. as well. Flashes wasn't enough with a beast like Ortiz Jr. We'll see if it's enough here tonight with Rocha.
I didn't see those flashes, sir.
I know you didn't. You kept texting me, but I saw them.
He landed 24 punches in that fight.
He agreed with me. He said that if he would have been in better shape, he could have capitalized on what he saw with Ortiz. And I think it was flashes, Chris, just quick flashes.
I agree with you if you say I can date Kate Upton, but that doesn't mean I'm going to.
I'm having hot flashes. Would you guys knock it off? Solomon in the 5th round of that fight said, listen, I wasn't hurt to the point where I couldn't continue, but I said, listen, I'm losing. I'm not going to be able to come back and win. I'm just going to live to fight another day. A couple of years ago, he had been labeled a quitter. But considering the state of boxing right now, would you say that was a smart move, Chris?
No, I don't think he's a quitter at all for having that mindset. He was getting beat up by a big-time puncher in that division. But Sergio, I would say, when a guy has that mindset where early in a fight he starts thinking, when is it time to get out of it? That troubles me a little bit.
It's time to get out when you start thinking about that, absolutely.
The first meaningful punch landed by Rocha gets a big rise out of this crowd. They want some action.
Rocha has said he wants to make Solomon feel every bit his age, so he wants to apply pressure mentally and physically in this fight.
Rocha is a tremendous body puncher. I just expect him, the way you stop a mover is by going to the body. Just dig down to the body. Even if you're hitting the elbows and the forearms, you're digging away right there and investing.
Again, keep an eye on the front foot battle between orthodox and southpaw.
Rocha doesn't waste any punches, so if you're wondering why isn't he punching right here, trying to track down the elusive Solomon, it's because he wants to track him just for that. That's when he starts getting away. He doesn't waste punches, he digs away. Solomon punching back.
Yeah, Solomon trying to keep him off of him with some offense. More of a feeling out round here in the first between King Solomon and Alexis Rocha.
Both corners like what they see with their fighter, and it was a good feel around for both of them, actually.
We talked about Rocha's amateur success. Solomon has plenty of it, too. 3-time National Gold Gloves champion. won his first Golden Gloves title after just 7 official amateur bouts. At the time, that was reported as a record. That was many moons ago for this 36-year-old.
Now we see Rocha digging away at the body now.
Solomon not known for having a ton of pop in his punches. 9 KOs in his 28 wins.
No, and that's what makes these early rounds really important for Brad Solomon. He's got to find a way to rack up a lead because he doesn't have that equalizer that can get him back into a fight.
He doesn't have the same power as Rocha, but if he can use Rocha's aggression and power coming forward so aggressively, that sometimes creates more power than you have, especially if you time it right.
Oh, we saw Roberto Valenzuela time Rocha really well in the second round of their fight. Got inside with an uppercut and nearly finished him off.
There you go, Chris. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But it takes speed. You got to catch and counter real quick.
There's a nice start as Solomon pushes forward for the first time. Sergio, are you having some flashbacks here tonight? You made your professional debut in this very venue.
I want to forget about the professional debut because it was a 4-round fight, and I got dropped, I got cut, and I squeaked out a split decision. I want to forget about it.
Were reporters filing stories with typewriters back then?
It was a lifetime ago. Good body shot by Solomon right there.
What year was that? What year did you make your debut, Sergio?
2001. No, 2000. I'm sorry, late 2000.
Sure it wasn't in the 90s?
After the 2000 Olympic trials, right after that, 4 months later.
We still hope you have at least one fight left in you, Sergio. And we're going to let Chris Mannix score it from ringside.
10-8 every round. I can see it already.
There's no chance I'm giving you a single round in that fight.
Valentine's Day, Chris.
Crowd trying to influence Alexis Rocha, get him pumped to go forward, land some heavy shots. But it's Solomon who's kind of winding up and firing here in the second round.
No, he's catching and countering really nicely too, and this is the reason Rocha's not getting that aggressive. Solomon has the right game plan here, and he's executing it.
Alexis Rocha, Brad King Solomon, fighting at a contracted weight of 147 pounds. When Rocha was 11 years old, ladies and gentlemen, he weighed 205 pounds. He described himself as a fatso, went to the gym to lose weight, and look at him now. And Chris, I know you trained boxing to lose weight, and thank the Lord, based on his diet, Sergio. How big would Chris be without boxing?
Oh my God, I don't want to think about it.
You know, Sergio, Brad Solomon, this is a different type of Brad Solomon I've seen. He was on his bike the entire time he fought Virgil Ortiz. This is a guy standing and trading, which I think is really the only way you can win a fight like this.
And that's because he's rolling that experience from the Virgil Ortiz fight into this fight. It was only 2 months ago, so he's already been fresh. He's in there with an aggressive fighter. It's rare that you go back-to-back aggressive fighters like this, and he's carrying that experience right here. That's why he's looking good, Solomon is.
Well, you know, it's interesting because just 2 fights ago, Solomon was still considered a fringe contender with untapped talent. But after that loss to Ortiz, Chris, he's now considered basically a step-up opponent or a gatekeeper, so to speak.
Yeah, you have to believe that without that Ortiz fight, you wouldn't have seen Rocha come running into a Brad Solomon type of fight. Just because the style that he's known to fight. He'll be a little slippery at times, but it's a different Brad Solomon that I'm seeing. He's been sharp. And look, he's an accurate puncher too. When he beat Adrian Granados back in 2015, he won largely because he was the more accurate of the punchers.
It's not easy to look good against a fighter like Solomon.
No, it is not. He's cagey, crafty, like we call him in boxing. He's like a cutie in there. He doesn't let you fight your fight.
Even that big left hand was blocked by Solomon.
Big right hook right there, and you got to give it to Solomon right there. Proves he can take a shot too. In Rocha's corner, they want more pressure, more left hooks to the body. Break him down, back him up. Solomon will give you these moments of where he tucks and doesn't really do much. The veteran in him comes out. Kills time by not doing nothing, moving around the ring. That's what you don't want to do. Let him get comfortable. right here. See this right here? This is Solomon's comfort level right there. Rocha's not doing much. It's a quiet way to win a round if you're Solomon.
Solomon with a stick and move, in and out. One punch pot shots, but they're scoring.
There's another one, another chopping right hand.
And now Solomon's having fun in there. This is exactly how he envisioned this fight would go. Polish people like accordions too. Polish music. I love accordion.
I don't think he's going to come out to the polka right now, but we'll see.
All right, round 4 scheduled for 10. Alexis Rocha having trouble here with Brad Solomon, no doubt about it. We'll check in on Chris's scorecard here momentarily. But Solomon's starting to smile a little bit, starting to move those feet, dance around the ring.
And this is exactly what Rocha didn't want to do, is let Solomon get comfortable, get confidence in there. There's a little spring to Solomon's step. He's feeling a little swag. That's what you don't want in a 36-year-old fighter.
And this crowd has been relatively quiet considering they were very vocal when Rocha entered the ring. There's a right hand that grazes the chin. Nice right hand. Solomon scoring here in the 4th as we look at our CompuBox numbers. 49 punches landed for Rocha, just 16 for Solomon. Does that feel right to you?
I thought Solomon had his best round in that second round. The third round got off to a decent start, but he fell back into that trap and backed off, allowing Rocha to kind of dictate the pace of this fight.
The thing about those numbers, Todd, is that they count when they land on the gloves, the shoulders, and they're not clean punches, but they count those shots as landed. Like that. That's a landed punch, but it was clearly blocked by Rocha.
Well, Solomon said, when describing his style, he said, with my movement, any fighter that comes straight forward, that's going to be my fight. You just put the punches in there, and they run right into him.
Didn't really happen with Ortiz.
No. But this is a much better performance here tonight.
Absolutely.
Night and day.
But look at what punch it took for Ortiz to knock out a crafty fighter like Solomon. It was a power jab. Out of all the punches that Ortiz is such a beast in with his combinations and uppercut and body punching, just like Alexis Rocha is as well, it's the jab that ends up hurting a fighter like Solomon.
There's a left hand for Rocha. Best punch of this round for sure.
And anytime Rocha lands something, Solomon comes right back, which is exactly what you need to do if you want to win a fight, especially against the A side or what, quote unquote, the favorite. And more body shots.
Approaching the midway point of this fight. Bit of a surprise perhaps in the making. Brad Solomon versus Alexis Rocha.
If I was Rocha, I would focus more on trying to hit Solomon on the shoulder. Since he's a southpaw, his hand's going to be closer to his shoulder, to the right side of Rocha's shoulder. So just touch the shoulder. I mean, if you can't hit the head, hit him there.
Well, Rocha told us that Solomon would be the toughest fight of his career so far and would present a challenge. He's still trying to figure this Georgia native out. Let's check in with Claudia Trejos.
I had a chance to speak to Hector Lopez, and we got to watch out for that half step. Lex uses a full step just to put pressure on Solomon, but then he smothers his own punches. Therefore, Hector is asking him, use the half step. That keeps you in the pocket and far enough to stay away from the punch that could be coming as a counter punch from Solomon.
And the half step is actually a crafty, cagey move that a boxer does. And that's the reason Hector Lopez wants more pressure. They said that you're waiting too long. that Alexis Rocha is waiting too long. It's not that he's waiting. He can't capture Solomon with that little slight step back. Usually it's southpaws that do that.
Good uppercut there from Solomon.
And he's not letting Rocha plant his feet or get settled either. A power puncher needs to settle. Solomon's not giving Rocha that.
Now this is more of the second round that I'm seeing from Solomon, a little bit more active in putting the pressure on Rocha. And look, Rocha's game is pressure. That is how he wins fights. So to kind of turn the tables on him, make him more of a back foot fighter is a sound strategy.
Seems like this round's still up for grabs with 40 seconds to go. Every round has been relatively close. Nice body shot from Solomon. He's having success just throwing one punch at a time.
And he's having success hitting the gloves of Rocha. They may not be clean landed punches, but the fighter feels them. Even if you're blocking the shot that looks like it's completely blocked, you feel rocked. Your head gets shaken.
It's been the distance 7 times. So let's see if Solomon's experience will come into play here with just 4 rounds to go. As his corner so eloquently put it to him, they had to count it like 4 times to make sure, but yes, there are 4 rounds left.
And they told Solomon in the corner that they need quick counters over the lazy jab that Rocha's been throwing. And not for nothing, in Rocha's corner, they said that he's fighting lazy, that he needs to pick it up. There's concern in the voice of Hector Lopez in Alexis Rocha's corner.
Punches through 6, 323 thrown by Rocha, landing 81, 38 landed for Solomon. Nice uppercut there for Solomon.
Solomon standing a little bit more flat-footed now, catching those body shots. He must feel really comfortable now with the power of Rocha to be flat-footed now from there. Or he might be feeling the effect of moving so much and the legs are slowing down.
What do you want to see from Rocha here down the stretch, Sergio?
More of that, just simple jabs. That's the only way you're going to track down a fighter, but you don't always have to aim for the head.
Ooh, there's a nice 1-2 from Rocha.
He's not doubling up the jabs. He's just single jabs. Double and triple up the jabs to close the distance.
And in the back of his mind, you're thinking, or at least Rocha might be thinking, hey, this guy's 36 years old. When we come to the final 2 or 3 rounds, if I press the gas on this guy, he might wilt a little bit. Rocha 14 years younger than his opponent.
I love seeing that from Solomon right there. See that? He lands some good punches right there and just pushes the aggressive Rocha back. That shows that he still has upper body strength right now, because it takes some strength to push off a fighter like that when they're coming forward. I like that feint right there by Solomon as well. See, that's confidence right there. It's little slight things that show you that he's confident and he feels he's in control, Brad Solomon. From the push to the feint to the ring generalship. Doesn't look like much, but I see the success that he's having here.
Good counter right from Rocha, considering how vocal they were on his ring entrance. But then again, he hasn't really had an electric moment in this fight.
No, he hasn't been able to put together the type of flurry that'll get that type of crowd support behind him. He's had some successful moments, but every time he tries to build some momentum, there's Solomon battering back with that jab, throwing combinations of his own, really fighting a smart fight.
you're just joining us, Brad Solomon, 28-2, 36 years old, coming off a 5th round knockout loss to Virgil Ortiz Jr. Many feel this is his last hurrah, his last chance to stay relevant. Alexis Rocha, one of the young guns in the Golden Boy stable. Many think he could be a world champion soon. 15-0, but having all sorts of problems tonight with the slick boxing King Solomon.
Watch your heads, guys, get your heads.
Chris, how do you have it scored through 7 full rounds?
I've got it 67-66 in favor of Rocha, but there have been a handful of very close rounds, especially as we've gotten into the second half of this fight. Rocha clearly the more active fighter, but Solomon, when he fires that jab off, it's scoring, and it's hitting Rocha clean.
A shot like that by Rocha.
These are the kind of fights you got to battle through and win. These are the kind of opponents you got to figure out. It's all not going to be guns and glory for Alexis Rocha.
No, and it's coming at the right time. Look, if Alexis Rocha can get out of this fight is going to propel him to be a better fighter, a breakout year like they want in 2020. When it's fights like these where he struggles and he learns about himself and make him all around a better boxer. But he needs to get the win, an ugly win, as long as it's a victory.
Could very well come down to these final few rounds.
Because believe it or not, even if it's a draw, that's a loss in some way, because it blemishes your record for one, but it stops the momentum for a prospect, a highly touted prospect like Rocha.
The toughest thing to do sometimes for a prospect is to fight one of these slick boxers. We saw it here in DAZN not too long ago with Josh Kelly and Sugar Ray Robinson. Robinson, a veteran, crafty guy. Josh Kelly had a lot of problems with him. Similarly, it seems like Roach is having some problems, a lot of problems, with Brad Solomon.
Swing and a miss there for Rocha. And of course, the judges don't have the luxury of seeing the CompuBox statistics. As you mentioned, Mannix, are they going to put a premium on the accuracy of Solomon or the volume and pressure of Rocha?
Man, what a check hook by Solomon right there. Right on the temple of Rocha.
They have cinched the urgency in that corner. They know this is a close fight.
They're saying no more waiting. You got to put the pressure now. Break him down. They feel that he's being too patient, Rocha is.
Let's see if this crowd can come to life too. Waiting on something to get them out of their seats. Already more pressure from Rocha here in the first 30 seconds. Rocha's corner felt like Solomon's starting to run out of gas, losing steam.
Yeah, he might be, but when you're into these final 2 rounds, that's when that second win comes. That's when Brad Solomon can taste the possibility of grabbing the win off the fight.
Yeah, that's when you feel like you know you already passed through the hard stuff and adrenaline kicks in for the last 2 rounds.
Solomon knows what's on the line here. If Rocha somehow loses this fight, he's only 22 years old, plenty of time to get his career back on track. Solomon's 36. It's now or never.
You know, credit Brad Solomon, but the instructions from the corner of Rocha really aren't being followed at this point. Pressure, throw a lot of punches, be aggressive. He did it for the first maybe 30 seconds of the round, and as we swung into the middle part of it, it's just not so much there anymore.
Rocha's the type of fighter that needs to be set to punch, and I think after this fight, if he comes out of this fight with a victory, I think they need to work on their foot speed and their footwork, how to trap opponents, how to double and triple jab, using speed instead of looking for big power shots. But work on the feet of Rocha.
Well, there's a left hand, a good one, right over the ear of Rocha.
And we see the contrast with Solomon. He lands those crisp shots like that, but then he moves to the side with nifty footwork. He doesn't give Rocha a chance to counter back.
No receipts given. Sergio, did you try and keep a running tally in your head when you were fighting, whether you were winning or losing?
Oh, absolutely. Every fighter has that innate ability of knowing when the time is going to be up, the 3 minutes, and how many rounds are left and how many rounds you have in the bank. And that's what you have your corner for, too. You have to totally trust your corner. And right now, if you're Alexis Rocha, I mean, Hector Lopez in his corner sounds concerned. He's been sounding concerned the entire fight.
That was a tremendous straight right hand for Brad Solomon, right down the middle of the back of Rocha. One of the better punches of this fight.
3 minutes to go. That's the plea from the corner of Alexis Rocha. Go forward, stay inside, beat this guy up. Can the crowd rise Rocha up to the occasion here? His undefeated record is on the line.
Solomon's going to have to prove he's just more than a cutie and a boxer. He's going to have to dig down and fight Rocha off this last round.
Stop! Take a step back, Loki.
And let's not overlook the conditioning of Solomon. We're in the 10th round. This 36-year-old is in just as good a shape as Rocha, if not better, Chris.
I think he's in better shape at this point. He had a little bit of moments of fatigue in the 6th, 7th, and 8th round. The last two, he's got his second win. And Sergio, I know you caught that. He glanced over at us. On the
Smiled at me. Solomon's feeling. He smiled at me. I mean, he's feeling it right now.
Oh, big one hit. Best punch of the fight. And down goes Solomon. What a game-changing right hand from Alexis Rocha.
That's what happens when you get overconfident. It just takes one shot by a power puncher like Rocha.
Alexis Rocha has to stay on Brad Solomon. Even with that knockdown, this fight is still very much in doubt.
Solomon is hurt, and Rocha has way more than enough time to finish him.
Solomon looks like he's ready to go down again. He's a veteran, though. Let's see if he can dig deep and stay on his feet.
So Rocha's got to create that separation. Big left hand right there.
Solomon back again. The referee taking a good look. Solomon lands a right of his own. He's coming back. This is the action this crowd has been clamoring for. 70 seconds left. Final round. Solomon still doesn't look right.
Rocha's got to let it all hang out here.
Oh, big uppercut from Solomon. Seconds left. More action in this round than maybe the prior 9 combined. To the body goes Rocha. Upstairs goes Solomon.
Hector Lopez told Alexis Rocha to let all hang out in the 10th round. He did. Will it be enough for him to win this fight?
And that will do it. Rocha maybe needed late heroics, and he provided them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and here are the totals. Judge Rudy Barragan scores it 189. Max DeLuca, 99-90. And Chris Migliori, 97-92. All for your winner by unanimous decision. He is still undefeated and still WBC Continental America's welterweight champion, Alexis Rocha.
189. That means Alexis Rocha pitched a shutout here. That means his own trainer, Hector Lopez, was concerned for nothing.